Stories of Great Christians. From its radio studios in Chicago, the Moody Bible Institute greets its friends everywhere with Chapter 2 in the transcribed story of Florence Nightingale, The Lady with the Lamb. Florence Nightingale was early given to habits of dreaming, and coupled with this tendency was an attitude of stubborn independence. On their innumerable walks, Parthy, her elder by 1 year, was content to follow their father, clinging shyly to his coattails. But Florence invariably walked alongside, swinging a rope and observing everything with alert, intelligent eyes. Florence was more studious, too. She delighted her father with her mastery of Greek, Latin, and history. And by the time she became a young lady, she was remarkably well educated for a woman of that period. But Florence was far from contented. She felt ill at ease in the midst of luxury. And one summer, the death of a poor neighbor resulting from lack of proper care caused her to examine the whole fabric of her existence.
They killed her just the same as if they'd given her arsenic, when a few elementary facts might have meant the saving of her life. But do we teach the poor? No, we send flowers and express sympathy, and then we're supposed to forget. But the Lord Jesus wasn't blind to them either. Oh, God, help me to know that even the least of these, my brothers and sisters, are deserving of my help. Oh, God, help me to help them. And now, boys and girls, from this story we learn that Jacob was only happy when he was doing what God wanted him to do. So, if God calls you, you must answer as his obedient servants have always answered. Here am I, Lord, send me. Now we'll conclude by repeating the benediction.
May the Lord watch over thee and keep thee in all thy ways. Goodbye, Miss Nightingale.
Goodbye, dear.
Goodbye, Miss Nightingale.
Goodbye, Helen.
Miss Nightingale, please, ma'am.
What is it, David?
It was a wonderful lesson today.
Yes, it's wonderful to learn how Jacob wrestled with the angel, isn't it?
But he was lamed, wasn't he?
Yes, dear. That was a price of victory. It cost him something.
Miss Florence, you said that if God called us, we should say yes to him. Did God ever call you?
Yes, he did.
And did you hear him? Was it a real voice? Or did you just think it inside your head?
Well, David, you're asking me to explain something that's pretty hard to explain, but I'll try. I didn't hear a voice, and I didn't just think it either. God spoke to my spirit. I guess that's how you might say it.
Was it very long ago?
About 3 months ago.
That's when you started our Bible class. Will you always have Bible class?
I wish I could. But very soon now I'll be traveling.
Who are you traveling with, Miss Florence?
Oh, with Mother and Father and Sister Parthy, of course.
Oh, Miss Florence, I wish you didn't have to go.
Well, we have a visitor. How are you, David?
Oh, hello, Miss Parthy. I have to go now, Miss Florence. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, David.
Oh, he's a sweet child. Parthy, have you been to the carriage shop to see the coach?
The one Papa designed for our trip to the continent? No. Is it ready?
All finished. And it's enormous. It has room enough inside for 10 people and seats up on the top so we can take the air in fine weather.
How exciting. I can hardly wait to get started, Flo. Aren't you thrilled?
Sometimes. And then again, I wish I didn't have to go at all.
But why? Why?
Very simple. Because all this society life, well, I don't think it's right. Oh, to think that we'll be in France soon. Oh, I wonder what Paris will be like.
It's come. Just what I've been waiting for.
What's come?
What is it?
The invitation from Mary Clark, of course. I sent around the introduction Patty gave, hoping we'd get an answer. And we have.
And when are we to meet the famous, the distinguished, the talented Miss Clark?
Try to be respectful, Flo. She's the one person in Paris who can make us socially.
Or break us if she doesn't take a fancy to us.
Mama, isn't it odd that an Irish woman should have the most elite circle in Paris?
Yes, it is. They say she's very plain, too. But she knows all the right people and has all the right connections, so we must make a good impression.
What's the invitation for?
For an afternoon, very informal, the note says.
I heard someone say that she doesn't like young ladies.
Well, I'll confess I've heard that, too. But we'll manage. She could take you everywhere and introduce you to artists and nobility and, well, just everybody. I'm counting on you both. She must like you.
Oh, dear.
Very informal. Now, let's see. Florence had better wear the new sprig muslin and her poke bonnet with the big roses. And Parthay can wear the pale green with the yellow overskirt. That will do, Flo. You'll break the knocker with your banging. Flo, why are you opening the door?
Mama, we've been knocking for 5 minutes and nobody's let us in. So let's just go in anyway.
Do you think we really should?
Well, I really don't see the harm.
There's somebody here, but the question is where?
The noise seems to be coming from in there. No wonder they didn't hear us.
Down that hall it is, Mama.
Well, let's go. She said it was to be informal. We'll take it at her word.
Maybe you're right. Why, it's a whole room full of children.
But where's Miss Clark, Mama?
That must be she right in the middle, dancing around with all the rest.
Oh, can that be the high and mighty Mary Clark? Why, she's hardly any bigger than the children herself.
Now what do we do?
Take off our bonnets and join in, of course.
Let's. It looks like such fun. Could we, Mama?
That may be just the right thing to do.
This is where we shine, Mama. If the Nightingales are good at anything, it's entertaining children. Well, we got home at last, tired but triumphant. We knew we'd really passed the test when Mary Clark took Mama's hand as we were leaving and said in that direct way she has,
I've really fallen in love with your girls, Fanny. They're so unspoiled, and what a mind that Florence has. I have to see a great deal of both of them while they're here in Paris.
Why can't I stay away from hospitals and poorhouses? I must have seen a dozen of them since I came to Paris. What a terrible thing to die in a poorhouse. To lie in a bed infested with lice and cough your life away with no one to look after you or care what happens. But why must I think about it? Why can't I keep my mind on things like the ball we're going to tonight?
Miss Flo, could you have tea with us tomorrow?
Oh, I'd like to, but I promised Miss Clark.
Oh, you're having tea with Miss Clark. You're certainly fortunate. Another day, then, huh?
Miss Florence, did your mother tell you that we're counting on you all for an opera tea party tomorrow evening?
No, she didn't, but how nice. I'm wild about music and I dearly love opera. If Mama would let me go, I'd go every night.
We'll see you at 8 then. Ask your mother for the tea.
May I claim this waltz, Miss Nightingale? I haven't had an opportunity to dance with you yet this evening.
Oh, Colonel, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's quite all right. If you already have a partner, you needn't apologize.
But I didn't mean... But I was only going to say I couldn't remember whether I had a partner or not. Oh, well, he's gone.
Miss Nightingale, I'm so glad to find you free. I've been wanting to talk to you. I understand that you've heard Grissy sing.
Oh, yes, Sir Wilfred. And have you?
Yes. I heard her in Othello playing the part of Desdemona.
Wasn't it thrilling? I've heard more powerful singers, but her execution is superb.
That's what I remarked about it. Another thing I wanted to ask you was that...
Really, Miss Nightingale?
Oh, Colonel, I meant to tell you...
I scarcely think it polite to refuse me and then not dance. I'll not trouble you about it, of course, but you can't blame me for protesting.
But, Colonel, you don't understand. I was somewhat confused, and you took me by surprise.
I understand quite thoroughly, Miss Florence. Don't bother to apologize.
He's really quite put out.
Yes. But really, I'm not sorry now that I didn't dance with him. He should know that everything is not set to the tune of the toccata.
Flo, still up at this hour of the morning?
Oh, my feet hurt so badly that I decided to soak them in a little warm water.
I shouldn't have urged you to wear the new slippers, but they looked so elegant with your ball gown. Poor little feet. You danced everything, too, didn't you?
Everything but the Colonel's waltz.
What do you mean?
Oh, I got a little confused and refused the Colonel and then didn't dance. He was quite put out.
A small thing to be concerned about. I heard nothing all evening but how brilliant Florence is. What a clever sister you have. Florence is so witty.
Parthy, don't tell me these things. I don't want to hear them.
I know one thing, Flo. You're not nearly so shy as you were when we left England.
Still, I keep wishing...
Now, no complaints. Well, if I were half as popular as you, I'd be wild with joy.
Parthy, how can you be satisfied with this kind of life? Oh, I'll admit there's a fascination about it. It's really fun to shine in society, but all the while that I'm putting myself out to be popular and witty, deep inside I feel... Well, I feel guilty.
Guilty? Well, if it pleases Mamma and makes us all so proud of you, why should you feel guilty? It's the kind of life we're supposed to live.
Oh, I guess you're right, Parthy. Maybe I should forget these notions and stop visiting hospitals and charitable schools and all the other wretched holes I find to dig into.
Flo, now you're beginning to behave like the wonderful, sensible girl I know you to be.
After all, why should I complain about a life that's always gay and exciting and interesting, like tonight? Oh, Parthy, if only I could be sure about those things. If only I could be positive and contented and settled, like you.
And so we conclude Chapter 2 in the transcribed story of Florence Nightingale, The Lady with the Lamp. This is another in the series of stories of great Christians which come to you from the radio studios of the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago.